Good afternoon, people. It's Jacob on the one up top, and it's Spurs Day. I'm just thankful that we're back after the international break. Like, I just don't back internationals. It's just dead, if I'm honest. Like, don't support a country, don't really care about it. So I'm glad that it's back to normal proceedings. Before you do anything, make sure you like, share, subscribe, do all of that jazz to help my channel grow. But we go to today's matter, which is Tottenham, who entertain Sheffield United. I'm going to go to the lineups first, as I usually do. So, if you're a Spurs fan, you'll understand what I mean when I say we're unchanged. If you're a neutral, I'm going to read them out to you. So we've got Vicario in goal, Mickey van der Ven and Romero centre-halves, Edozie left-back, Pedro Porro right-back, Basuma and Sarr, central midfield, Maddison in the number 10, Kulusevski on the right, Solomon on the left, and Sonny up front. Okay, I'll go to Sheffield United. They've got McBurney and Archer up front, Luke Thomas, formerly of Leicester, left back, Bogle right wing back, I think, Hamer, McAtee and Souza in central midfield, Robinson, Basham, Ahmedhodzic in centre-half positions, and Fodringham in goal. So if I'm going to break down what I think might happen here, I think a lot of people are expecting an absolute whitewash because of Angeball. With me, I'm very cautious in these games because Sheffield United will more than likely have the attitude to say smash and grab. If it gets to the point where half an hour into the game, we haven't really had any chances, we haven't really had the shots on goal, the crowd becomes disgruntled, Sheffield United take a set piece. We've seen it happen not just with Tottenham, with a lot of other clubs, So I'm quite cautious with it. I'm not going to sit there and say we're going to lose because I generally think we'll win. But I think it'll be a cagey one. I think it'll be one of those where we'll play our football. Sheffield United won't come out until they feel comfortable. So if I'm honest, I think it's going to be one of those games where we've taken ages to cook. People have come back from international breaks and stuff like that. But I think we'll nick it 2-0. I think it'll be a 2-0. Sheffield United might score because what a lot of fans don't see with Angeball is that you give the opposition a lot of opportunities. We saw it when we played United. United, if they took their chances, we would have lost that game. Bournemouth, they had a little spell in both halves, which if they scored would have probably led to us not getting the result that we wanted. Brentford as well, they scored a couple against us. So it's one of those where rustiness, I think, might kick in. I could be completely wrong, and we could end up battering Sheffield United or better yet losing. But I think it'll be a 2-0. I think Son will get on the score sheet. A lot of people in their dream teams are putting him in as captain, but I don't think he'll go and bang a hat-trick. I think it'll just be the odd goal. I think Sheffield United will make it difficult for us. They're in a position where they've got to fight for every point. I'm not saying we haven't got to fight, but it's like they're fighting for survival where we're more than likely not going to be in the same position as them. What player to watch out for today? I think, if I'm honest, the player that's going to help us out in this game will be Kulusevski because the way that Sheffield United have set up, we're going to probably rely on our wingers. Solomon's easing himself into the team. I'm expecting Kulusevski to be the guy today to turn up and perform. He's been getting better, but he's due a performance of what we saw when he first came into the scene under Conte. Like, he needs to get back to that sort of place. It's going to be it's going to be a difficult game because look, Sheffield United, when they're going forward, will be a back three, but generally over the course of the game, especially if we retain possession like we have been, it could be a 5 at the back and be one of those. So the only way we're going to beat Sheffield United really is to score early, because if you force Sheffield United to come out once we've taken an early lead, then we'll probably go and win the game by 2 or 3. So I'm going to say it's 2-0. Hopefully we get the result that we need and we keep pushing on, because we need a result here. We need not just a result, a performance to continue with, because we've got the massive matter of the North London derby next week. Now, the last thing we need is a bad result and a bad performance in this game. So we need to turn up today, do what we've been doing over the last 4 games, win impressively, and, you know, give the opposition of next week something to think about, because we all know that even though form pretty much goes out the window in them games, you need to be able to establish yourself as a team that are doing what we're doing, and it's not just a false start, it's what we're going to do for the rest of the season. So we need to set the precedent by winning today and go into that next game with confidence. So, as I say, it's going to be a 2-0. We'll have all the possession in the world, but as I say, I could be completely wrong. So we'll see you at half time. Yes, people, it's half time. Tottenham 0, Sheffield United 0. As I said before the game, I felt it was going to be cagey, you know. First of all, I'll give the plaudits to Sheffield United, because they've dug in. And not only they've dug in, they've had a couple of good chances, man. Like, they've had probably as many shots on target that have been devastating, just as us, really. You know, I remember Ollie McBurney put it straight down the keeper's throat, should have scored. And there's another chance where Vicarius cleared it with his feet. You know, Son had a couple of opportunities that got piled away. But in the round, Sheffield United deserve the result that they're getting, and so do we, to be fair. You know, we've probably had the blind share of possession. I think what's unfair on us is the fact that should have had a penalty. You know, not only should have had a penalty, it's crazy how the inconsistency with the officials, because I've watched games where literally nothing's happened and then they've given 11 minutes injury time. Well, the keeper, Fodringham, for Sheffield United, was injured for like 5 minutes, but they gave 3 additional minutes when we were purring. So, you know, I ain't going to say too much on that. You know, we've played well. The lucky thing for us is that we do have options. You know, I feel that if you have an actual number 9 to either play instead of Sonny or with Sonny, we go and win this game, because there is chances. You know, Sheffield United are playing into our hands, really, but we just need someone in there that just wants to stay in the square area of the box. I think, you know, even though Richarlison's had his moments in the last few weeks, these are the sort of games where he might actually turn up and score. I said it to my son that, you know, if it's cagey and it's like this, I wouldn't be surprised if Richarlison comes on and scores. But, you know, I'm not going to sit there and say because we're Tottenham we deserve to be winning. We deserve to be winning based on the officials making mistakes, because that was a clear penalty. You know, if Rashford's getting his penalty, if Sablitzai's getting his penalty, they didn't even get touched. But Maddison clearly got touched by Chris Basham. And not only would that have resulted in a penalty, Chris Basham would have got sent off. But VAR took a very quick look at that. I didn't see no back and forth, no slow videos. It was like, nah. But we all know full well, if that's Phil Foden in the box getting tackled by Chris Basham, they'll look at that for 10 minutes. Chris Basham goes off and Man City are 1-0 up. We all know how this thing works. So, but again, I'm not going to use that as a parameter to say that we deserve to be winning, because that's no fault of any manager, any player. That's just the officials being lax. And I don't understand how the officiating in the Premier League is getting worse when you've got the tools. Everybody blames the VAR. It's not the VAR. If the people were using it properly, we'd be all over it. We'd be loving it. You know, what you got to understand is it isn't a robot or a technology saying this is what you got to do. It's somebody using that technology and bailing out and making the most stupid error you can think of. So, but yeah, we're going to the second half. I think we've got a lot of options going forward. You know, if it gets to the point where we have to throw the kitchen sink at it, you've got Brennan Johnson that can come on. You've got Richarlison that can come on, like I alluded to. But, you know, if we end up taking the lead, you've got a Højbjerg that can come in and shore it up. I don't think we've done too much wrong. I just think we need to be a bit more ruthless. There's been a few times where Sonny's gone a bit mad because we could have squared it when we've tried to take it on ourselves. I think what we need to be mindful of in this second half is Adoji and Basuma, there's a lot of time where it feels like they're getting a little bit too cocky with the ball, and Sheffield United have caught us up and put us on the back foot. So we just got to be mindful that, not to get too carried away, not to get too arrogant. I know Ange Ball's wicked, but concentrate on getting a result first, and then you can do your little party tricks. So still going to stick by my 2-0. I just feel that we need to win the game. I generally think that we needed that early goal because, like I said, without the early goal, everybody gets a little bit edgy. But we'll see at the end of the game whether I'm going to be jumping for joy or I'm going to be going nuts. But we'll see. Imagine the scene, guys. I'm in the living room. My beer's getting warm. Sheffield United score. I'm getting missed calls from my best friends. Stressed. What happens? A moment of madness. My son's upstairs cleaning his room and he says, "Dad, put this on and you'll win." I've looked to my left. What's he presented me? A shirt that he's found in his room. "Put it on, Dad. We'll win." I'm there like, what's he going on about? Boom! It worked! Mates, even though it was Sheffield United, I went absolutely wild. Mum's jumping. I've got my daughter in my arms like she's 5 when she's 11. Come on! Mate, I have had a stressful week and I needed that. But that's the comical part. I'll dash this off and throw it at the sofa like I did at full time. If I'm going to chat about that game, I was talking to my friend at work, at Josh, and shout out Josh and Louis. They generally think that when I do these videos, I do them afterwards. But it's weird because I say some stuff and it happens. But I guarantee you, if I went to the bookies and put a tenner on it, it don't happen. I said at half time, Richarlison's going to come on and score. I said, like most Tottenham fans weren't thinking, going to be a KG. I think the only thing that I got wrong was the fact that Sheffield United scored. I said at the beginning of this video, Kulusevski's going to be the guy today. Bangs the winner. What's going on? But I'd rather it happen for the sake of Tottenham instead of lying in my pockets. I do not care about money. I care about what's going on here and other things in life. First is what I'm going to do is respect the opposition. Sheffield United, hats off, man. If I'm honest, they deserved to not necessarily win the game, but they deserved the smash and grab. They dug in. Their forwards were harrying us. They didn't really make us feel uncomfortable, but they did what they planned to do. That's what they'd have been doing all week in training. And no matter whether you're at the top end of the table or the bottom end, you execute a plan. And to be fair, if there wasn't 12 minutes, that would have happened, They dug in, man. Ollie McBurney got sent off at the end. I'm thinking, I don't know what he said to the ref, but he could have just realistically should let that slide, but it just depends what he said. But yeah, hats off to him, man. They did something very similar to Man City. The difference was Man City were winning. They equalised. Silly mistake. Man City have gone and won the game. So Sheffield United over the last few games have had a hard start, but they can take a lot of confidence from that. But at the end of the day, confidence doesn't keep you in the league. So that's all I'm going to say on that matter. In terms of our side, first and foremost, hats off to Richarlison. We've all cussed him. He's obviously going through a tough time. No matter who you are, man, woman, if your mental health is disturbed, I can tell you that from the off. It's not something that you want to mess around with. And if you want to go and get the help, go and get it. And when you have moments like that, it could have been Richarlison. It could have been Harry Maguire that's been going through so much stuff recently. Take football aside and rivalries, you're happy for someone that's struggling to go and impact a football match. So they'll just have a happy moment in their life. So thankfully, it's for the club I support. Kulusevski, I've seen a lot of people saying he needs to come off. I thought he was the only attacker that we had on that looked like he wanted to do something in the game. Granted, some of the decisions were a little bit late, but I'll go as far as saying out of the front three that we started with anyway, he was the one that I would have kept on, and Ange made the right decision. But yeah, it was you know, my heart was in my mouth. Generally, you know, spent 20 minutes to half hour thinking of the amount of gooners that were going to be ringing me and texting me. I had my best mate who's a gooner ringing me during the game, so he was obviously gassed that we were losing to Sheffield United. If you're watching, bruv, I'll ring you back in a bit. But yeah, it was we just needed the win, man. You know, I'm not going to sit there saying we're going to go and win the league, but teams that win the leagues, win the championships, you know, your Man Cities, your Liverpools, Man United back in the day, they would win that game. It would be horrible. The whole world's open at Man United lost. Fergie would make 3-4 subs, bang, win the game. But he would do that at such a consistent level. Man United won trophies. So I'm not sitting there saying that we're going to be like Fergie or anything like that. What I'm saying is if you want to be a team that's challenging on trophies, you've got to master winning games like that. So you can tell I've lost my voice. That result threatened to ruin my afternoon. And Austin's got his little best mate come around for a sleepover tonight, and I would have been the moodiest guy in the world. But now that we've got that, they can do what they want, as far as I'm concerned. So yeah, great result. Needed that confidence booster. I've been sent loads of videos from the lane of the atmosphere, and that's what we need because we're going into always the hardest fixture for me, Emirates away against Arsenal. You know, form goes out the window in that game, but I've had enough of going to the Emirates and losing. The last time we beat them there, I was playing football myself, so I didn't even watch it. So it's all about one step at a time. Ange Ball, great stuff. Manager of the month, player of the month, Maddison, great. All I can do is say I'm enjoying my weekends, and I hope you guys enjoy your weekends too. Love, Jacob on the one up top.